In this video, I'll be breaking down exactly how Brez Skills is making $400,000 every single month in actual profit with his coaching business. And he's doing these insane numbers even though we're in the info space trust recession, when the consumers are really skeptical and they do not trust as easily as they did before in courses and mentorships. And let me tell you one thing, this wasn't luck. There was a strategy and a funnel behind it. And in this video, I'm going to be exposing that exact strategy and that exact funnel that Brez Skills is using to make $400,000 per month in actual profit with his coaching business, even though when we're in a trust recession in the info space. So I'll be sharing exactly how is he getting the traffic, how is he building trust with that traffic, exactly how is he getting warm leads for his coaching business, and how is he converting those leads. So by the end of this video, you can just copy and paste Brez Skills funnel into your own coaching business. So let's get into it. Brez Skills 400K per month funnel breakdown. Now, who even is Brez Skills? For those of you guys that don't know who Brez is, essentially Brez is a 20-year-old online business owner who is running a social media marketing agency helping e-commerce brands with their ads, and is also a coach teaching others how to do the same thing, aka freelance brand scaling. So essentially what Brez Skills does is that he is a coach that teaches others freelance brand scaling, and he also runs an agency that runs ads for these e-commerce brands or just any online businesses, brands, like clothing brands, e-commerce brands, just any general brands that need his help now with their ads. And Brez Skills calls this freelance brand scaling, which is his own unique mechanism. Now, essentially, he's just doing a social media marketing agency, but he calls it freelance brand scaling to just, give, like these new audiences, the young entrepreneurs, just like a new mechanism or a new shiny way to make money online. So this is essentially who Brez Skills is. Now let's break down Brez Skills funnel. And like any other funnel out there, there's three main components of a funnel, getting the traffic, generating interested leads, and then converting those leads. So let's start off with traffic first of all. Now, before I get into breaking down each platform strategy, I want to talk about the strategy in general that Brez Skills is using. So the strategy that Brez Skills is using is he's using these two main platforms, Instagram and TikTok, and he's getting as much traffic as possible on these platforms because these are short form platforms and it's very easy to grow on these platforms, go viral and get millions of views and millions of followers to your account. So what Brez is doing is that he's using Instagram and TikTok to raise brand awareness about his brand and funneling in like millions of people on his on his social pages, and then basically he's funneling all the traffic that he got from Instagram and TikTok into YouTube, where he's actually nurturing the leads and he's building trust with those leads. And to sell something to a lead, they need to know, like, and trust you. And this is essentially what Brez is doing with YouTube. So he's getting the traffic from Instagram and TikTok, and then he's funneling down the traffic into YouTube. So this is like the strategy that Brez Skills is using. Now let's first start off with Instagram. So what is Brez doing on Instagram for actually getting traffic? Now, as you can see right over here, Brez has a pretty, good audience size, 450,000 followers. It's probably more now. But he has 450,000 followers, which is a lot, so almost 500,000 followers. Now, in terms of his bio, he just wrote I scale, brands, and then building Brez marketing, and then I don't know how to pronounce this, so I won't even try. And the third thing is apply to work with me, and this is what we're going to break down in this video. It's the funnel of the apply to work with me. Now, this basically has two links. One, two is free training, so it's coaching business, which we are going to break down. Actually, I'm going to break down this video, and one link is to apply to work with him. So this is essentially what these links are. Now, if you go more deeper into Brez Skills' Instagram strategy, his Instagram looks pretty simple like any other influencer out there, but actually the strategy behind it is actually kind of genius. So let me break that down for you. Like specifically for highlights, the strategy behind this is actually pretty genius. You might look at them, normal highlights like whips, just cars, life, fit, and then marketing. But if you actually break down the science behind them, it's actually pretty genius, which I'm going to do right now. So for like highlights, Brez is just mainly showcasing his amazing lifestyle and also the results that he has got his clients with his agency. So what Brez is basically doing is that he has these highlights where he's just showcasing his amazing lifestyle, the cars, the fits, and basically about the marketing, about the results he's getting his clients, the results his students are getting from his things, and basically just general lifestyle stuff, the rich lifestyle. What Brez is doing is that Brez understands his ICP really well. His ICP are just like him, who are broke right now, who are broke and who want to get rich, just like how Brez did. So, and his ICP likes wants this kind of lifestyle. So Brez is purposely showing this kind of lifestyle that he's living right now, that his ICP wants, and he's putting them as highlights so that when people come to his account, they look up to him, that I want to learn from this guy. How did he do it? Because he has a lifestyle that I want to achieve, which I think is actually a pretty genius strategy. Now, in terms of Instagram stories, I haven't really seen Brez, doing much over there. He's just posting, general lifestyle stories, showcasing his lifestyle. But what I'm not sure if Brez uses this strategy, but there's a strategy called the Instagram story sequence strategy. So essentially what that is that every once in a while, let's say you're getting like you're not getting enough calls booked on your calendar, what you could do if you have an audience is on your like a well-sized audience on Instagram, you could run an IG story sequence. Now what that looks like is basically it's just a sequence of stories. The main purpose behind those stories is to get leads, and the way you can do that is basically, let's say, it's basically like just like the first story is just like a hook to grab the viewer's attention. And basically what this does is that it just grabs the viewer's attention. Now the second story is like you basically where you actually share the story of what the story sequence is about. Third story is where you actually provide proof of the story. And then the fifth one is actually just a call to action, so CTA, to tell people to what to do next. Now what this is essentially is that your followers, they're like a pool of buyers. They already know who you are. They already they consume your content, so they know who you are, they trust you, they've seen your thing. Now these are people just like a pool of buyers. Now if you post the IG story sequence where you're guiding them through a story and telling them to do something, they're already like a pool of buyers. You just gotta direct them in the right direction. This is what an IG story sequence does. Now you cannot overuse this strategy, because if you overuse it, your audience, whenever they click on your story, oh, this guy's always just selling to me, they're gonna get burnt out. So every once in a while, I think if Brett starts using this, I'm not sure if he's using this, but since the time I've been following him, I haven't really seen him using this strategy. But if he starts using this, he could print, like, maybe like take his business like extra 50k in cash collected each month. He could add to his total cash collected that he does, so 450k. And this is actually a pretty great strategy. So moving down the line into actual reels, so what Brez does for reels is actually a pretty genius strategy also. Now if you look at Brez's Instagram reels, you can see that the average view he gets is over 100,000 plays per reel. 100,000 views a reel, that's the average he gets. Now Brez is mainly posting two types of reel. Now the first type of reels that Brez is posting on his things are just general like edits of his lifestyle, and basically just general edits that appeal to his ICP. So the audience is trying to attack, they like watching this kind of rich lifestyle edits with a little bit of humor in them, flexing, all this kind of stuff. So they like watching this kind of content. So Brez is creating that content to attract his ICP to his account, which his coaching program is designed for. Now, which is something that I think is absolutely genius, because what I see most coaches do out there, that they just create random content that is going viral in their niche, but that makes no sense, or that makes basically no sense for their account. Like, let's say you're a business owner and you have a B2B offer, and you're creating these general videos about like 5 tips on how to become a millionaire or something like that. That is totally attracting the wrong audience to your account. So create hyper-specific content, and this is what Brez is doing, that your ICP actually watches to attract them to your account. So getting back to the topic, so the first type of reels he's posting is just basically just edits of his lifestyle to attract his ICP. That is the content that his ICP like to watch. And the second kind of content is just raw, authentic talking head videos, sharing whatever is going through his mind or answering the questions of the audience, and also motivating the viewer. So like this kind of content, with raw, authentic content, he's either just following some trends, or he's just sharing whatever is going through his mind and giving a lot of value, giving a lot of knowledge. And his audience really likes this kind of content. Since we're in a trust recession right now, like before, if you looked at the content before on Instagram, they were super highly edited and everything was optimized for the algorithms. And what was really missing in those videos was actual one-to-one connection with the creator. Now, what Brez is doing with these kind of videos is that once you see this kind of talking rawhead videos, no edits, nothing like that, he's not cutting out the ums and ahs, anything like that. it just makes it super authentic, and it's easier to connect with him because he's an actual human being, human to human connection. So this is essentially what Brez is doing for his reels, just authentic videos and just edits that appeal to his ICP and that builds trust with this ICP. So this is Brez's main strategy, for Instagram. Now let's talk about TikTok. So for TikTok, Brez has 374,000 followers, which is a really decent following size, actually a really big one. And if you look at his reels are also popping off. I mean, his videos, TikTok videos are also popping off on, TikTok as well. They're getting pretty good amount of views as well. And he's just using the same strategy as Instagram reels, which is posting edits that appeal to his target audience and a raw talking head videos answering the questions, motivating his audience and valuable lessons. So it's just the same strategy, has Instagram reels just following trends, authentic rocky talking head raw videos, and edits that appeal to his ICP. And basically in his bio he says freelance brand scaling, which is his unique mechanism for his coaching program, and then basically cars, and then the cars he has just from credibility, so just like some proof, and then apply to work with him, and there's a link tree where you can find his links to actually go to his funnels to apply to work with him for his agency or learn from him from his coaching program. Basically what Instagram and TikTok, their main purpose is just brand awareness and getting as much traffic into the funnel. And what this funnel is doing is that redirecting all of this traffic into YouTube, and YouTube acts as a nurturing and a conversion mechanism. So Brez Skills has been recently popping up on YouTube. He has 177,000 subscribers at the time I'm recording this video, and he's been recently popping up on YouTube, like 100,000 views on like a 20-minute vlog, 220,000 views, 444,000 views, which if you know YouTube, that's insane amount of views on like especially a 44-minute vlog. So Brez Skills' main strategy for YouTube is just basically sharing vlogs of his daily day-to-day life, and every once in a while some educational content, educational videos of exactly how he did it, what is freelance brand scaling, every single thing like that. But mainly he's going all in on vlogs, and which I think is a pretty genius move, and I'll explain why it's a genius move right now. So as you know, right now we're in a trust recession in the info space. Buyers have especially become more skeptical. They don't trust these online gurus as easily as they did before. They're very skeptical about buying courses, mentorships online. Now what Brez Skills is doing to tackle this is he's creating vlogs. Now in his vlogs, he's not just creating generic random vlogs. He's using very specific marketing tactics to actually make someone that's a viewer watching his video, a lead watching his video, to make the lead know, like, and trust Brez Skills. So later down the line, he converts into, he applies to work with his coaching program, and then he converts into a customer. So what he's doing with his vlogs is that he's being very, very, very authentic and being his true self. He's not faking his personality. He's being very authentic, sharing what's going on in his day, and being himself, which is a number one thing which was missing before in these super highly edited vlogs where everyone just trying to copy the big guys like Iman Gaji and all those big guys in the space. They're just trying to copy him. But what Brez is doing is that he's being himself, being his true self, giving a lot of value nuggets throughout his vlogs, motivating the viewers, sharing his story, and just being his true self. And the second thing he's doing is that he's showing unlimited real-time proof. So what Brez is basically doing in his vlogs, he's sharing his life, okay, what's going throughout his day or his week, and then basically he's just just sharing his life. What I've noticed is that whenever in his vlogs Brez is talking to the camera and he gets like a notification of a payment from his phone, he shows that, and he's showing real-time proof. Most people, they show like screenshots, something like those about their monthly numbers, everything like that. That also works. But Brez is he's showing real-time proof. When he receives a payment, he just in a natural ways, shows that I just received this payment, which builds, unlimited real-time proof. So it builds more, trust in Brez as the viewer that this guy's showing real-time proof. He's a very authentic guy. He's just like me. He was just like me, and look at where he's now. I want to be at this guy's level. So this is what Brez is mainly doing for YouTube, sharing vlogs, being very authentic, showing real-time proof to tackle the trust recession, and sharing educational content on top of that. And Brez has been really popping off with this strategy recently. Now, this is what mainly Brez Skills is doing for marketing. It's just using Instagram, TikTok to brand awareness, and then using YouTube as a nurturing and a conversion mechanism. Now that Brez Skills does have the traffic, then how is he generating interest leads? So let's talk about this part. Now, before I go and break down the actual strategy, I want to talk about the reason why Brez is converting such high numbers and getting so many warm leads is essentially because of this thing. It's because of market research. It's because Brez understands his ICP, his ideal customer profile, extremely well. He understands the promise or the dreamland, the problem that the ICP is facing, the journey of the potential client. The problem is the desired situation. He understands basically every single thing about them, their demographics, psychographics. So that way, that in his content, he can directly, target them. His funnels are designed in a way that directly, target his ICP. They're designed in a way that pre-handle objections that his ICP might bring up. So this is something that's really important, and this is actually something that I do for all of my clients inside of 6FO, six-figure operator. And essentially inside six-figure operator, I have my clients scale their info business to 100K per month. And the first step that we follow when we're working in the business, when we're actually trying to scale their business, is do market research, because we need to understand, okay, who exactly is our ideal customer? Okay, what are their psychographics? What are their demographics? What is their problem? What are some objections that they might, bring up? What kind of buyers are they? So once we understand this, then we can go down and design the whole funnel, the whole strategy. So that way, we can get as many leads as possible. Because if you don't understand who your actual buyer is, there's no way you can scale your info business or actually even make money from your info business. So this is something that Brez absolutely nailed down, and that we do for all of our clients when we're actually in their business and going through the process of scaling their business. So this is really important. Now let's talk about the strategy. So essentially, what is the strategy for getting more leads? So let's talk about Instagram and TikTok first of all. So Instagram and TikTok, they just have a simple link to the link tree in the bios and everything like that. And then basically these two links are just basically applied to work with the agency. And then his free training to learn freelance brand scaling, which is essentially social media marketing agencies are just running ads for e-commerce business. So this is basically for Instagram and TikTok. And let's talk about YouTube. So for YouTube, in his bios, he just has this learn how to start freelance brand scaling for free, because in his vlogs, he talks about how freelance brand scaling has helped him, actually achieve this lifestyle and all of the things that his ICP wants. And the second thing is just to apply to have me scale your brand. So his second call to action, and then just a link to basically his socials like Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and X. Now, when a lead does actually click on the link to learn about freelance brand scaling, this is the funnel he goes through. So let's break it down. So when a lead actually clicks on the link to learn about the freelance brand scaling and watch the free training, this is what he comes across. So just a simple page, nothing really crazy. Basically just says the exact strategy I used to go from a fat Fortnite kid to making over 6 figures per month with freelance brand scaling. Click below to claim the free training, and then just right over here, a video where if they click it, and basically they will get a pop-up form where they just have to put it in their, their full name, their email, and then their phone numbers. This way they can collect the information of the lead, and then do email marketing with lead, follow up with the lead later on down the line. Now, one thing I would also like to mention is that Brez right over here used a fat Fortnite kid. He understands that his ICP, they also play Fortnite like he used to did back in the days. And they also want to make 6 figures per month, just like how Brez is doing. So Brez is using that in his headline because that is who his coaching program is designed for, and that is who is trying to attract. So this is where I say, the importance of market research actually comes in, that you need to understand who's your ICP, what their day-to-day life looks like, what do they actually do, and what kind of transformation do they want to achieve. So this is something that I think is actually a pretty genius thing, and just shows how important market research actually is. So once someone, actually completes down this form, they get taken to the next page where they can actually, watch the free training, which is just basically an undercover VSL. So in this free training, it's just the same headline, and then click play on the video to watch the video. And in this video, Brez just sharing his story, how freelance brand scaling helped him, and then how they can also get started and work and learn from Brez. So apply now. So basically on this page, it's just a simple VSL and apply now button. Now below that, Brez has a lot of testimonials from his students inside his coaching program that learned freelance brand scaling from him, and the results they saw. So Brez has like a lot of testimonials. When I mean a lot of testimonials, go check out his funnel. All you will see is just testimonies on testimonies. I couldn't even fit the whole funnel on this Miro board because there were just way too many. And Brez is showing that he knows what he's talking about, and he has undeniable proof, which just builds more trust, more trust on him. The viewer just trusts him, the lead just trusts him even more, especially now in a trust recession. You need to make the lead trust you, and that's the only way they're actually gonna go ahead and buy whatever it is that you're selling. You need to build trust with the lead. So Brez Skills is showing undeniable proof. So after a lead actually clicks the apply now button, they get taken to this Typeform page. So on this Typeform page, it's just, this is the application. It's only for freelance brand scalers who have the funds to invest into the learning. So he mentioned it very clearly, if you have the funds, this is a Typeform application for you. Now let's talk about the main questions that he's basically asking in this Typeform. Now he has basically just asking 5 questions, so nothing too big. So first question, have you ever run ads before? Do you currently have a client? Third question, fill out your contact info so we can reach out to you. Now normally if you see a Typeform or any funnel out there, this question is normally in the starting, and it makes sense, you want to click the leads information in the starting. But what Brez did, he placed it in third place, and which is actually pretty genius, because in the starting, if someone is asking for your name, your phone number, your email, all of this information about you, you would be more hesitant and skeptical about that. But Brez placed it in third place. Now they have gone through these 2 very easy questions, yes or no answers. They're a little less hesitant, and it comes across as a more friendly approach and friendly way. Now, after the 4th question is, how familiar would you say you are with ads on a scale of 1 to 5, And then the main question, what is your budget to invest into the program? Obviously, if it's 0, you will not get accepted. And I think from up here, the bracket is where you will actually be qualified to, actually book the call. So after you completed this, the next page is basically you get taken to watch this video, which is just a 2-minute video of Brez Skills just congratulating you on filling out the application form. He's just telling you that a setter from basically a person from his team will reach out to you, to see if you're qualified or not, and basically just reach out to you about what's the next step, everything like that. And he's just telling the the lead that this is not a scam, that this is a real opportunity, has changed my life and basically everything, and that take this thing seriously. So just warming up the lead up and telling them okay that this is serious and what's coming up next ahead. And below this, he's just basically has some pre-recorded videos pre-handling any objections and pre-handling most of the questions that the lead might have. So like, how quickly will I make my investment back? Does Brez Skills actually do this business model himself? Can I still get clients with no experience? And these questions are basically tackling down the skepticism and basically the trust recession. Like since we're in a trust recession, people have these general questions. Like most gurus out there don't even actually do what they actually talk about, and he's just basically answering these questions to pre-handle any objections. And then below that, he also has an undeniable amount of testimonials to show the lead that this actually works, and it not only works for him but also for other people, and that all these people it has worked for that were inside his coaching program. So this is basically the whole funnel for getting warm leads, and exactly how Brez Skills is getting a lot of warm leads. Now let's talk about the third part of the funnel. Now he does have the warm leads. Now he actually needs to convert them. So exactly how is he doing that? So let's talk about the strategy for actually converting all of these leads. So after someone fills out the Typeform and questionnaire, it's basically complete. So a person from Brez Skills team quickly calls each lead within 2 hours, which gives him an edge because the lead is still hot and they're not waiting one day where the lead just gets warm, so probably forgets about it. They move very fast. So quick call each lead within 2 hours, and then call the qualified leads with the contact info provided and book a discovery call. So get them on the calendar to sell them to the coaching program. Make the lead watch the VSL before the call, and then basically WhatsApp group with the closer and setter in place. So basically basically checking in with the lead on all these platforms, quick calling them, getting them on the call, make them watch the VSL, just pre-nurturing them. And then 24-hour confirmation for the call, reminder 6, 3, and 1 hour before the call, and then reminder 5 minutes before the call, and then basically just take the call. And basically if they close the lead, cash collected. If no show or no close, they follow up a few days later, and they still have the contact info periodically, send some free sauce info to the info to potentially convert the lead in the future. Now it's a pretty simple sales process, but in order for this sales process to actually work, the number one thing that you have to keep in mind is that you have to track everything. You have to track basically, okay, how many calls are you booking in, how many of those people are actually showing up, what's your show up rate, what's your how many people are saying yes, how many people are paying in full, what's the cash collected, what is the objections that are mostly bringing up. You need to track basically each and every single data, and this is something that we do for all of our clients whenever we are running up an info funnel to actually launch. We track all the numbers, and this is something we do for all of our clients. And that is essentially because that way you can tell, okay, you can see which part of the funnel is actually we were lacking on. Okay, is it a show up rate? So we can implement a strategy to increase the show up rate. Is it that the conversion rate is low, so we need to talk with the closer and get the conversion rate high, make sure that he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. So in order for this actually strategy to work, which is a pretty simple strategy, you need to track basically everything in your business, which I'm sure Brez is doing. So this is basically Brez whole 400K per month funnel. Exactly how is he making $400,000 every single month with his coaching business in actual profit. Now from here on, you could either spend the time trying to implement this funnel into your own coaching business just by yourself, and spend the time trying to figure out how most of these systems and processes actually work, with very high chances of you messing this up, because for every business the funnel and the system and the strategy is different. Or you could just click the first link down in the description and book a one-on-one call with me and my partner, and we can help you out and see if there's a potential partnership opportunity between us to help you start or scale your info business. So click the first link down below in the description, book your one-on-one call with me and my partner, and we're looking forward to talking to you. Now if you found value in this video, then consider checking out this video where I break down Daniel Dalen's whole funnel and exactly how he made $25 million for this personal brand, even though he doesn't sell anything in his videos. With that being said, I hope you liked this video, and I'll see you in the next one.